We have first Dark. What do you have for us?
I have
Do you want me to say it or?
Kono Kaisha ni Suki na Hito ga Imasu, right?
Hmm.
Something like that, whatever.
Yeah.
Translates to I have a crush at work, also known as for some
Yes.
reason, can you keep a secret? Don't know where it's known as that, but
Should I? Can I
apparently
put this? Can
somewhere.
I? Okay. Can I?
Can you keep a secret? I don't know.
Yeah. Can I just say something? And this is a continuing complaint, and I don't want to be. And this is not necessarily in support of those people in YouTube comment section that are like, "Oh, all these woke translators are ruining everything these days." But I just want to say, can we keep localizations a little bit in line, please? I'm not saying that it has to be completely like transliterations of the Japanese titles, keep all the Onichans, whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be like that. But stuff like this, stuff like a lot of Disney Hulu subtitles that I've seen where you have in the Japanese sentence, they will say something like, "Oh, I'm glad that this happened because it was a little bit dangerous," or something like that, right? But then the English subtitle will say something along the lines of, "Oh, we would have got cooked if that shenanigan had occurred." And it's like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do this, okay? They're
Oh,
regular people. Just
using like modern lingo and shit.
yeah,
Like
and
an
just going too deep
overuse.
into it when yes, like people right now do use it, but you don't. Like, regular people don't necessarily just do that all the time. They don't just go, say, "Oh, man, I got
We would have
so"
been
like,
cooked, fam. We would have been
yeah, man.
cooked.
They just don't just do that in everyday life, and so it's okay to not do
Chad, you
that
seeing
in
this?
localizations either. Yeah, yeah, chat
That
chat, is
real?
this real?
Chad, is this real?
It's okay to not do that. So, that was just my little complaint, but I just wish that people would stop making these random localizations, like I get sort of the reason why behind this title, "Can You Keep a Secret?" But you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Just putting it out there. But yeah, sorry for the tangent. Please do go on, Dark.
But yeah, so this is a series about two coworkers, Mitsui Yui and uh, Masugu Taitishi.
Mhm.
Um and they are secretly dating at work. Um and
Scandalous.
that's kind of yeah, that's kind of the whole thing. There's a very basic series, very simple series. It's focused
Sonic?
primarily, yeah, it's very episodic. It's focused primarily on just like the day-to-day happenings between the two, and just like how they are trying to hide their relationship with each other.
Uh-huh.
And there's a lot of like, Yui being masking it through being like Sunday at work. And there's like very minor drama that arises of like, trying to keep that secret. But overall, the focus is primarily now I've watched like 3 episodes. Yeah, I've watched 3 episodes of this. And so I did not catch up with it. Just because it is
The
very like
drama?
no,
Does
actually,
the
it's just
drama
like it's
devolve?
so light on drama in the first three.
Oh, okay, it devolves back
And
into the
it's
same
like
stuff.
kind of
Okay. Yeah.
all the romance, but like to me, like the romance is it's good, like it's fine for what it is, but it's not that interesting to me.
Mhm.
Right? Like it's not because there's really
Like, the theme
nothing.
isn't that interesting either to begin with.
Yeah, because it's literally just like it's just they are in a relationship at work and they are trying to keep it a secret. And so like, but there's no real problem that
Yeah,
they
there's no
would
real
need to
reason to
do
keep it a
that.
secret other than being embarrassed. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I think it's more so. I believe they say at some point it's more so of like they don't want like the other employees to like look at them a different way or a certain way and shit like that. Like they don't want
Okay.
anyone to like to treat them differently or something just because like they're dating. They don't want to like
Okay.
yeah. I mean it like kind of makes sense where it's like they just kind of don't really want to put up with any of that. They just want it to be like, we're just working. Like we're at work. It fucking
Hmm.
sucks a lot of the time and that's it. Um and yeah, so that was kind of like where I'm at. Like there's really not there doesn't seem to be any reason as like I said as to why. So it's like the close calls really don't even feel that threatening, you know, of them like being found out because it doesn't seem like there's nothing established that's like, oh, we'll lose our jobs or something if we're found out because you're not allowed to. It's just
Yeah,
literally
there's
like,
no zero component for drama to occur, right? Like
yeah,
for real
and
drama.
the drama is literally just like their own wishes, which is like, normally you could argue like, oh, they shouldn't like that could be fine, but it's
Hmm.
just not really like gripping, you know,
Is the
in
manga
that
Yonkoma
sense.
or what is it? Is it just like a regular
This is
manga?
a
What's
it just says
happening?
it's a regular as far as from what I was able to see, it just seems like it's a regular
Oh,
manga.
it's not even Yonkoma. Okay,
Um
that's interesting.
yeah, and like I said, well, because like I said, there's a lot of like the not like kind of development between the two. It's just more of like their relationship and like different them like doing different things. Um like seeing a movie, so on and so forth, like going at least for now, like going through the ropes of that.
Hmm.
Um because like the series starts off where it's like, they're like, oh, they were like dating and now they're like lovers, right? Which I think is a good starting point too, because it's like nice to kind of like just get right into sort of like the more serious aspect of their relationship right away, rather than like a will they, won't they, or like hitting it off type deal. So I think that's
Right.
like kind of nice. Just being in the full flow of it. But with this premise and this setting, it's like not like I said, like the drama there or like the potential for any drama or the potential for like development there is really not anything that exciting, right? Because they're just people
Yeah.
working anyway, so it's not like
And the
this
theme isn't good
relationship.
enough to provide extra content. That's I think the main issue because there are a lot of series out there that have more repetitive stuff, especially as I kind of mentioned, Yonkoma, right? One of the more
Yeah,
popular
and
ones.
I'm thinking of
You're critical
I'm
of it, but
thinking
it's
of
like at least we have something like Komi, right? But it's like even that has at least a shtick, right? What I'm talking about is like we need a
yeah, this
shtick that
this
creates
shtick is
some more
far more
content.
like lovey-dovey and then like office stuff. But the office stuff is
Yeah,
really boring because it's like
exactly.
I don't even know if they're really going to get into because I'm pretty yeah, I think it's like Masuku is accounting and I forget what Yui is. And so
Yeah,
like
'cause it would be one thing if it was like The
it,
Office or Dilbert or something like that, but it's
yeah,
not, right?
yeah, right? Like like that is a setup I'd like to see or even something like what was it? The Yuki Ono the Yuki
Yuki
Ono
on yeah, Yuki Otoko, right? It's like
yeah,
the guy was
The Yuki
snow
yeah,
man,
the
yeah.
Yuki Otoko series was I enjoyed the office stuff in that because what he was doing is he was putting together project presentations and like presentations for like
Right, right, right,
here's
right,
the
right,
advertising blast we want to do for like your theme park and shit like
right,
that. Like so like
exactly.
the office stuff was not like this is like kind of a microcosm thing where it's like I really don't understand like the how these companies work where there's like 30 like 50 people on one floor that all apparently stare at spreadsheets for fucking 9 hours a day and can't get ahead. I'm kind of just like what spreadsheets could you possibly be fucking looking at for this long, guys? Like I've
Yeah,
done I've done spreadsheets, I've done QuickBooks, I've done filing, like I've done a lot of office work. Now
mhm,
granted it's on a much smaller scale, but it's like how are you staring at spreadsheets all day and
right.
that's the bulk of it. I don't get it. Yeah, and I will say though there was certain parts where I felt for him where he was complaining about like receipts not matching up and I was like, yeah, I've been there. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
these receipts aren't matching anything on our sheets and it's like, yep. Yep, it's because some asshole didn't put it in right or didn't fucking use the company card correctly. Very fun or
Yeah.
didn't report it and they should have. But yeah. Um But yeah, so it's like that stuff is not particularly exciting, obviously, or
Mhm.
interesting in any way, shape, or form. Like there's no way, there's zero way to make that interesting in like a series like this. So like that's kind of like I would say the biggest issue, right? Because if you look at something like and like this the kind of like the place they are in their lives kind of also makes it uninteresting or less interesting to me because it's like these people both
What?
have apartments, right? Like they both have apartments. They're both working. They're both working the same job. Like this is not a like why can't I think of the really good romance series that it got a couple seasons now that came out I think a couple years ago. It was the girl with like the longish brown hair and she's dating like the guy who's like a straight-laced dude at school, but then like, you know, to act out after school it turns out he has like piercings and tattoos that he got on like a whim. What is that series again? It's like
Feel
a
like I
really
know
it's a really wholesome
what you
one. I
might
think
be
it begins
talking
with an
about.
H. It's got both of their names in the title.
Horimiya? Is it?
Horimiya. Yep,
Is
there you
that?
go.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
Horimiya. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like that is more interesting because it's like obviously the character dynamic is a little bit more interesting and there's a lot more going on in their lives at that point, right?
Uh huh.
Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he
Horimiya became
has
really
to meet
popular. Like
her
it made that
parents.
world. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like he
Exactly.
has to meet her parents. They have to navigate that. And that series navigates that a lot and it's really cool and really interesting. And there's like a lot of character interaction and character dynamics.
Yeah,
But like in
exactly.
this, it's like they don't have to deal with any of that, right? Like they're whole
Hmm.
ass adults with apartments and like fucking desk jobs. So it's like, you know, like it's a fun like romance romp, but as far as like any stakes, any drama, any like development, it's like it's really not that crazy. Um so yeah, that's kind of like why I really only got through 3 episodes because I was like, I could make it through this, but it's not something that is like really hooking me for that reason. There's not like
Yeah,
enough. It
that's the
doesn't
worst
really
part.
have
Where it's
enough
like,
teeth.
yeah, it's nice, but it's like,
Yeah, because it's like
I don't.
it's fun to watch. Like you know, sometimes it's fun to watch just like a romance, but the theme or the you know it doesn't really have a theme. You know, one of them's not a robot.
Yeah.
One of them's not dead or something. I don't know. Like it's not. It's just very standard. Um,
Mhm.
but not necessarily in a bad way. I would say like it's standard in a lot of ways, but it's also it's like it's a standard romance, but I guess in some ways it could be refreshing for some people because it's like because of how like standard of a romance it is. Because I guess that doesn't really come along that often,
It doesn't
right? Where
have the
like
extra pull that it needs for a unique story. I always say this, right? It's like, what is it offering me that some other series isn't? You know what I mean?
see that's the thing where I guess like in some ways this does offer that by being so normal in a way.
Middle of the line, you mean?
You know what I mean? Because it's like with it having like these like the no stakes and just being like the romance in a relationship of
Right.
like two people who are already set up anyway.
Hmm.
That in
Hmm.
and of itself in some ways is something that I guess you don't really have coming out as often.
But maybe it's too
Um
comfy. Is that what you're talking
well, it
about?
is comfy. It is comfy, but I'm saying like for some people this might be something they do want to check out because it's like because of how normal it is. Like how
Hmm.
not, you know, you're not going to deal with like some out of left field, like insane drama that makes no sense, right?
Hmm.
So that might appeal to some people who just want like a cute, comfy like romp. Um,
Right.
and that's fine. But for me, it's like I kind of want if I'm sitting for something like that, I do want something more like the Yuki Otoko, right? Because it's like
Mm.
at least then it's like, you know, you have this underlying trivia and like theme going on there. That's like at least wrapping like cutting into things. Um,
Right.
whereas this is a little bit more mundane.
Yeah.
I do think you were onto something with bringing up a more of like a like if this was a more of like the office setting Because yeah, I'm thinking now. It's like it is like
Yeah, because that's the
the
classic. Because
office
it's
setting is
always
really this type of
yeah,
setting is really what's kind of like dragging it down for me because it does not leave a lot of room for anything to happen.
yeah. That's why the specific type of office stuff. I mean, it even has its own subculture slash trope name, right? Office humor or whatever, right? That's sort of where it's you have something like Dilbert, where you have something like The Office or Parks and Recreation, where you're kind of making fun of this sort of pushing pencils vibe. And if you don't have that to sort of cut through the same paced vanilla raw romance pacing, right? And this is almost like putting something, it's like having balsamic vinegar on like a salad or like a steak or something. If you don't have this contrast, it can become very too much at times. It can be too much of the same thing,
Yeah,
I think.
it's yeah, and it's yeah. I mean that pretty much nails it because like I don't see like I said I don't see the office stuff really going anywhere. So it's
Hmm.
yeah, definitely unfortunate on that side.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think I mentioned this is being done by Studio Blade. This is pretty good audio visuals wise. Like it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Um
Especially probably given the budget, right?
yeah, I mean this is probably not like a huge budget, but it does look pretty good. You know, maybe they're getting their licks in, so you know, hopefully one day we get another fucking one room hero, you know? Maybe we'll get
Yeah.
that again. Um but yeah, very standard. Trying to think of what else. The voice acting's pretty fun. So I guess that's like another reason to check it out if you really want to hear that. Miyamoto Yume bounces back and forth between her like you know at office and non at office like off work personality. Um, but yeah, so it's okay. I would not say that this is something though that really gonna blow you away if you're like someone who's looking for a romance or like a rom com or anything like that.
Hmm.
Definitely something that's more
Okay.
of like a treat, I guess, you know.
Yeah. 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 Okay. I mean, at least it's not completely just boring and mediocre, which is the good thing.
No,
It's like
yeah, I mean like it's
it kind of
not like
sells it
while
straight.
you're watching
So
it, yeah, like while you're watching it, it's like oh man, like I'm so bored, like
yeah,
but it does definitely leave a bit to be desired or just like once you're
you
done, you're
become
kind
aware
of
of
like
how straight it's selling it. Essentially,
yeah, you're kind
you
of
become
just
very
like,
aware
oh,
of
you don't really have much of a reason where you're just like, wow, I can't wait to check out the next episode, like more of
it.
this.
Hmm. Hmm.
You're just kind of like, all right, that was good, like that was fine, and then you just like move on.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, but yeah, so and then like I said, the audio visuals are cute enough, like for it. So
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Dark. Again, this was この会社に好きな人がいます. Or I have a crush at work, or Can you keep a secret? All these localized titles. This is by which studio again? It was
Studio
Studio
Blade,
Blade.
which yeah, which
Uh,
recently did like I said, One Room Hero and the Gals. What was it? The one that you had covered last season?
oh, the Okinawa Gals. Yeah, okay.
Hokkaido Gals, not Okinawa.
Oh, the Hokkaido Gals. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
excuse me.
Okinawa was this
Apologize.
season.
Yes, yes, yes. So, uh, I think they did a pretty decent job with the uh, audio visuals over on that side as well. So I'm glad that they kept up consistency for again the budget that they have. I think they have a pretty decent team over there. This did get a what rating would you give this? This got a 7.4 on Mal, which is actually
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
like
silly.
way too high in my opinion. I think it's literally people just like putting that up there because it's like not garbage and has like pretty clean
It's like
audio
all
visuals.
romance, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah.
pretty good romance that doesn't have like like the drama is not like over the top and like nonsense.
Yeah, it's
Um,
not the usual where they're like where one of the either the main heroine or the main male protagonist just gets so mad and then they they're hiding in the playground and they're at the swings like in the dumps just
yeah,
oh man I'm so upset and then they have to like talk to each other and that sort of stuff.
yeah. So I think that's probably why I would personally give it maybe like a 6 to a 6.5, just because it's like it's
Mhm.
definitely better. It's better than like midline, and I would say like you should check this out if you like want like a pretty standard romance series from like the season. But I
Mhm.
wouldn't be like sh- like if you don't or are unsure as to like what you were getting into, then I would say like yeah, this is not really something I would go out of my way to like recommend to someone.
Right. Okay, pretty good. Again, thank you very much, Dark. And if you do like this sort of series, kind of playing it straight, very safe, vanilla romance series, and you don't mind it kind of continuing on this pace for quite a while, please do check this out.